My name is Joann Rothschild. I'm a painter. I've been painting for 43 years, and I've been looking at art probably since I was 3. It never occurred to me that I could be a professional painter because I came from a world where words were most valued. It was clear to me I had to be some sort of artist, that was the way I make myself whole. I put up on this wall things I like, or that I want to think about. Sometimes there are things that I don't quite understand, and sometimes there are things that are just fun. This is Gertrude Stein by Picasso. It's at the Met, and this is a painting by Cimabue, I think. And I feel as if there's a real relationship between these two paintings. Painters live in history. We are informed by what has gone before us. So I like keeping up the work by people who have been painters before me. This is a picture of some kids I took in Cuba. I think one of the heartbreaks for me is that since 2003, it's very, very difficult, practically impossible for me to go back there. And I'm hoping that things will change. This is a painting that, ironically, even though I paint as an abstract painter, the vertical rectangle always has some relation to the human stance, and horizontal usually means, to me, some kind of atmospheric relationship. Horizontals become perhaps even more abstract, because perhaps to the air, to the landscape, and for me to music to some degree. And music is always, there is a relationship, I feel a relationship between my work and music, and in the sense that that I'm interested in the rhythms of how your eye moves and the markings that inform those rhythms. For example, this could be a very sort of staccato rhythm, and this could be sort of a smoother sense. I struggled with it for a long time, and finally I ended up using I had the paint very much built up, and I ended up using a rotary sander to just take it down again. And one of the things that happened as a result of that is that the texture of the linen began to appear, and also there's a kind of atmosphere that kind of comes into the painting that I couldn't have planned for, so that this is just a very beautiful kind of texture, like an old wall. And I make a painting, but there's a sense in which the painting doesn't really occur until someone else is looking at it and has a conversation with that painting. Not really necessarily a verbal conversation, but a kind of intuitive, visual, emotional conversation. Oh, my eye is moving here. Oh, my eye goes from here to here. Oh, this kind of movement of my eye makes me feel like this. realized that I liked working on squares again. It was kind of a surprise. So I got some that were about the same size. This is about 2 inches bigger on every side, and started in. And I didn't use a sander to sort of bring these together. I scraped it down. You can see the scraping marks, which for me hold a kind of nice history of the painting process, what happened with the painting. But again, there's the idea of rhythm with these things going here, and then with the interruptions of the rhythm, the way this is sort of, your eye, it starts out regularly, but then suddenly you're brought down, and then maybe your eye drifts down to here, and then you go up to here. So that there's a part of painting, and looking at a painting, that's very active, and yet it's also the job of the painter, I think, to hold the viewer in. So the whole becomes, in some senses, comprehensible. In this, I see a lot of chromatic grays. Those are grays that aren't made by mixing black and white, but are made by mixing lots of colors together, so that the colors sort of act together and form something, a kind of unknowable color. And then this chromatic gray that covers a lot of the painting acts in contrast to this very bright cadmium red, or this sharp cinnabar green. And in a way, that's true of the stroking as well. I think that there are these sort of more diffuse edges running against these very sharp, staccatic edges of paint. I was interested enough in texture that I wanted to put some actually this is linen fabric on this, which is and here too, against the cotton canvas. And I called this a self-portrait, and there is a sense in which every painting you do is a self-portrait. It's about what you're painting and how you react to what you're painting. It's what's outside, but there's a sense in which you are yourself. You are painting yourself. It's your response to what you see. It's your response to the world. It's your response to what you had for breakfast. And you come to a painting with all of those things, and so it becomes very personal. And this painting, I suppose, felt to me even more personal than some of the others. And so that's why I titled it Self-Portrait. They have a lot of the elements of the big painting, but of course they're small, and so they're different. And what excites me about these, again, is how much life is contained in such a small space. This painting is one of the paintings that began in the 1980s. I think it was 82. And you can see a little bit of that early painting. Not a lot of it, but these lines under here, and I think this black line coming down as well, and I think this yellow under here are original. And then, of course, this blank canvas is from the early painting. And this painting was done at a time it was just a very tough time. And so in its first life it was called Ominous. And it did have a kind of creepy feeling. And I think it had a kind of theme of black and tan and gray and a little bit of yellow. It was pretty spare painting, and when I went back into it, it wasn't about ominous at all. It seemed to me a lot more possibility than I'd felt at that time as a young painter. There's something very exciting about finding out as you grow older that there's much more room than you thought there was.